I found myself in a perplexing state of amnesia, only to discover that I had been nurturing a canary for years my junior. Remarkably, he, like myself, is an alpha. Struggling to grapple with this reality, I posed the question. In our dynamic, who assumes the dominant role? With disdain, he retorted, since you have forgotten everything, perhaps it is best to sever our ties. Without hesitation, I acquiesced and ventured to a male modeling club that very night. To my astonishment, he burst through the door, seething with rage, and forcibly carried me away. Clad in a hospital gown, I sat upon the bed, engaging in a silent standoff with the striking gentleman before me. His raven tresses were as dark as ink, and his features were sharply defined, with deep-set eyes that conveyed a sense of mystery. Even the ordinary iron-gray suit he donned radiated an aura of restrained elegance. Yet, like myself, he was an alpha. Neither of us spoke. I even contemplated releasing pheromones to subdue him. At last, he shattered the silence. Xiao Yishuan, was it amusing to deceive me? He inquired, his tone laced with unfriendliness as he addressed me by name. I retorted coldly, who are you? Do I know you? The man appeared momentarily taken aback, then furrowed his slender brows in annoyance. What trickery are you playing at now? At that moment, the timid beta assistant, Zhou Yang, interjected hesitantly, Mr. Zhao, the doctor mentioned that Mr. Xiao has suffered a head injury and lost some memories. The alpha named Zhao cast a disdainful glance in my direction, scoffing, amnesia. Is it? Just forgetting me? Zhou Yang awkwardly confirmed, it seems that way. Seizing the opportunity, I turned to Zhou Yang and asked, what did you say his name was? Zhou Yang introduced again, this is Mr. Zhao Yuan. I turned back to face him. Zhao Yuan, is it? What is it you seek from me? Zhao Yuan, suppressing his irritation, asked, didn't you have Zhou Yang inform me that you fell down the stairs and required my care? Suddenly enlightened, I exclaimed, you're my caregiver? No, that can't be right. How could such a handsome man be a caregiver? Zhao Yuan, with a hint of sarcasm, replied, Mr. Xiao, you have a tendency to forget. 4 years ago, we signed a contract for my support. What did you say I was to you? I gasped. A kept man? I scrutinized him from head to toe. Zhao Yuan's physique was comparable to mine, no, objectively speaking, he was taller and more robust. I had always preferred sweet, soft little omegas. When did my tastes become so unrefined? In disbelief, I buried my face in my hands. Wait a moment. Are you suggesting that I initiated this arrangement? Zhao Yuan sneered, to be precise, I was passively supported by you. I lowered my hands.
Impossible. Absolutely impossible.
Meeting Zhao Yuan's icy gaze, I sensed he was not jesting. Swallowing hard, I cautiously inquired, may I ask who took the lead in our arrangement? He evaded my question, saying, since you've forgotten everything, let us terminate our relationship. This was rather abrupt, but I was indifferent. As you wish, I shrugged, then turned to Zhou Yang. Could you please check that support contract for me? I want to ensure there are no financial disputes or legal entanglements. Zhao Yuan interjected, you paid me 50 million in one lump sum, which I have already returned with interest. There will be no disputes. I felt relieved. That's good. It's important to settle matters clearly. Amicable separations are paramount. Before I could finish, Zhao Yuan abruptly stood. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. Mr. Xiao, take care. Why did he seem somewhat displeased? I waved him off cheerfully. Mr. Zhao, travel safely. Zhou Yang, please see him out. Of course, Zhou Yang began to follow, but Zhao Yuan brusquely stated, there's no need, you stay here with him. Before exiting, Zhao Yuan hesitated, casting one last glance my way. I inquired, perplexed, is there something else, Mr. Zhao? Zhao Yuan warned, you're the one who agreed to end our relationship. Don't have regrets. With that, he departed the room without a backward glance. I remained bewildered and turned to Zhou Yang. Are you certain this man is someone I supported? Why is his attitude so arrogant? Do I have some masochistic tendencies? 2. Zhou Yang cautiously advised, Mr. Xiao, perhaps you should reconsider your stance regarding Mr. Zhao. Otherwise, once your memory returns, you may come to regret it. I stared at him incredulously. What nonsense! I pride myself on being a man who flits through life without attachment. Would I truly lament over a mere canary? Zhou Yang fell silent. I touched the back of my head, which still throbbed faintly. Earlier that afternoon, I had accidentally fallen down the staircase of my hotel and was subsequently taken to the hospital. Upon waking, the doctor informed me that I had suffered a mild concussion and lost some memories. The discomfort in my body intensified, and I impatiently urged Zhou Yang, can you ask the doctor when I can be discharged? Zhou Yang returned with the information. The doctor recommended a night of observation. But if Mr. Xiao insists on leaving, we can arrange for a discharge form. I protested. Discharge? This is a trivial matter. What is there to observe? Zhou Yang complied and began the discharge process. I changed into my own suit, retrieving my phone as I and Zhou Yang made our way to the hospital parking lot. I noticed a private message I had sent 3 hours prior to a contact saved as Bunny. I recalled the last sentence. Is this Zhao Yuan? A chill ran down my spine. How could I have given him such an embarrassing nickname? I grumbled to myself. He certainly doesn't resemble a bunny in the slightest. I opened the message to read. Me. Did you go to meet Lin Lexi? Call me back. What are you doing? Listen up, Zhao Yuan. Remember this. Lin Lexi, my cousin, is a talented and handsome Omega who went abroad for studies after graduating high school. Zhao Yuan has a connection with Lin Lexi? In the chat, Zhao Yuan had yet to respond. I scrolled up to review previous messages. From the content, it was clear that I had been excessively doting on Zhao Yuan, constantly inquiring about his well-being, purchasing him luxury items, and transferring him money on special occasions with amounts like 520 and 1314. Zhao Yuan remained indifferent, often replying to my 10 messages with a single curt response. I felt a surge of anger and muttered, "Damn it, why am I being such a fool?" As he cast a spell on me, as I sat in the back seat of the car, Zhou Yang was driving away from the hospital. I leaned forward and asked Zhou Yang, "Be honest with me, does this Zhao fellow have some leverage over me?"
Zhou Yang hesitated.
I don't think so. I'm not sure. Then how could I possibly have given him 50 million? I don't fancy a muscular Barbie. Zhou Yang gently suggested, "Mr. Xiao, your phone contains many photos and videos of you and Mr. Zhao. Perhaps you should take a look. It might jog your memory." Prompted by his suggestion, I opened my photo gallery. Indeed, there were numerous albums dedicated to Zhao Yuan, all titled XX-year-old Bunny. The earliest album was named 17-year-old Bunny. So I had known Zhao Yuan since he was 17? Anxiously, I ventured into the album. It was filled with images of a strikingly handsome youth. I was momentarily confused. Who was this? Wasn't he Bunny referring to Zhao Yuan? As I magnified the photograph for a closer inspection, a sudden realization dawned upon me. This is Zhao Yuan. The disparity with his present self is striking. At 17, Zhao Yuan was fair-skinned and rosy-cheeked, with large, round, sparkling eyes, and when he smiled, he revealed a pair of adorable bunny teeth. No wonder I affectionately called him Bunny Baby. If he were still like this, he would undoubtedly be my type. I swiftly navigated through my phone to take a look. Most of the photos were solo shots of Zhao Yuan, but there were also a few with Lin Lexi, both clad in matching school uniforms. It then struck me that they were classmates. I proceeded to click through the albums from his 18th and 19th years. After viewing them, I could only ask Zhao Yuan, "What have you been through, my child?" The adage that boys mature significantly by the age of 18 certainly holds true. From 18 onwards, Zhao Yuan's face bore little trace of a smile. By 19, his entire demeanor had transformed, and he appeared to have bulked up impressively, evolving from a soft and endearing bunny baby to a cool, aloof deity. As I pondered this transformation, I seemed to have pinpointed the crux of the matter. 4 years ago, I had signed a contract with Zhao Yuan when he was just 18, the charming young lad I adored. Shortly thereafter, he evolved into an alpha, towering over me in stature. I blurted out, "This is fraud. The goods do not match the promise." Zhou Yang was startled by my outburst, and I leaned back in my chair, questioning, "This doesn't make sense. How can I still want to support him after he has turned into this?" Zhou Yang, looking somewhat troubled, replied, "Mr. Xiao, I am not privy to the details of your private relationship with Mr. Zhao, but I do know that you are genuinely fond of him. You quit smoking and drinking for him, complied with his every whim, and even helped him settle his debts." "What debts?" "When Mr. Zhao was 18, his family went bankrupt. One parent ended up in prison, and the other was gravely ill. His younger brother nearly couldn't afford to attend high school, and it was you who provided him with 50 million to help them through the crisis. A father in prison, a sick mother, and a debt-ridden younger brother. This indeed paints a picture of a male protagonist." With this revelation, everything clicked into place. I settled back into my chair, crossing my legs. So, it was I who took advantage of his predicament, leveraging money to coerce him into compliance. How have I become such a submissive fool? This is utterly humiliating. As I ranted, I instinctively reached into my pocket for a cigarette, only to remember Zhou Yang's words about quitting smoking and drinking for Zhao Yuan. Frustrated, I exclaimed, "Who does he think he is? When have I ever demeaned myself for someone else?" The more I thought about it, the angrier I became. Ordering Zhou Yang, "Take me to Wanhu Club." Wanhu Club is a male modeling establishment run by a close friend of mine, where the charming young Omegas come in all shapes and sizes. I had been foolish to forsake an entire forest for the sake of this crooked tree, Zhao Yuan. Thank heavens I had rid myself of this infatuation. Zhou Yang hesitated. Mr. Xiao, you promised Mr. Zhao you wouldn't go back there. I kicked his chair in annoyance. Who is your boss?
Yaoi Yang promptly fell silent.
Half an hour later, I found myself in a long-lost luxurious private room, surrounded by 6 scantily clad omegas. I reveled in their attentions, as they fed me drinks and fruit. The others, unable to squeeze in beside me, stood in front, swaying their hips and dancing sensually to the music. I raised my glass, cheering, keep dancing, keep singing. One little omega, adorned with bunny ears, took the opportunity to snuggle into my embrace. I held him close, playfully pinching his bunny ears. The little omega gazed at me with sultry eyes, softly murmuring, Mr. Xiao, how do you find me? I teased him by holding his chin, saying, you are simply adorable, like a little bunny. This was the kind of bunny baby I adored. Zhao Yuan had become as bulky as an ox. I truly questioned what I had ever seen in him. Just as I was lost in thought, the door to the private room was suddenly kicked open with force. Zhao Yuan stormed in, his face a thundercloud. The club manager followed closely behind, pleading, Mr. Zhao, please, I beg you, refrain from causing a disturbance here. Ignoring him, Zhao Yuan strode directly toward me. Upon seeing me cuddling a little omega, a glint of menace flashed in his eyes as he roughly grabbed the omega by the scruff of his neck and tossed him aside. The poor omega cried out as he fell, and the other omegas scattered in fear. Zhao Yuan, you dare. My words were cut short as I felt myself hoisted onto his shoulder. I struggled and shouted, put me down. What are you doing? No one dared to intervene. Zhao Yuan carried me to the parking lot, where his driver opened the back door. I was unceremoniously tossed into the back seat, and before I could regain my composure, Zhao Yuan climbed in after me. Bang! The door slammed shut, and the driver pressed the accelerator, sending the car speeding away. Dazed, I scrambled upright and directed my fury at Zhao Yuan. Where are you taking me? Did I say I wanted to go with you? Zhao Yuan's temper seemed to surpass mine as he gripped my jaw tightly, seething, Xiao Ishuan, you've grown bold, daring to come to a place like this and let those filthy men touch you. What did you promise me? I was about to retort. What does it matter to you? When Zhao Yuan leaned closer, inhaling the scent near my neck. His nose brushed against my skin, sending waves of tingling sensations through me, and I instinctively shrank away. Are you a dog? I pushed him away in a fit of embarrassment and anger. Zhao Yuan's eyes ignited with a dark fire as he growled through clenched teeth. You smell foul. What? Without another word, Zhao Yuan retrieved an air freshener from the car's glove compartment and sprayed it liberally in my direction. I was engulfed in a cloud of lemon-scented mist, sneezing and cursing. Are you out of your mind? Get away from me. Unperturbed, Zhao Yuan calmly lowered the car window and instructed the driver. Increase the airflow. The driver complied immediately, and under the strong breeze, the lemony scent began to dissipate. As I wiped my tears and nose with a tissue, Zhao Yuan continued his irritating tirade. When we get back, toss out all the clothes you wore, wash yourself thoroughly. If I catch even a whiff of another man's scent on you again, I swear I'll skin you alive. I had never felt so humiliated in my life. Who did he think he was? At that moment, my rage reached its peak. I tossed the tissue away and seized his collar. Zhao Yuan, who gave you the audacity to speak to me like that? I trembled with anger, my voice barely above a hiss. Yet, Zhao Yuan showed no sign of the fear I had anticipated. Instead, he enveloped my fist with his strong hand, a hint of exasperation mixed with affection in his tone as he remarked, You managed to annoy me in this manner. I must admit, you've succeeded, but I warn you, there cannot be a next time. If you dare return to Wanhu Club, I had no patience to let him finish, and I swung a punch at him. Bang! Zhao Yuan was caught off guard, his face twisting in disbelief as he touched his cheek, slowly turning to face me. You bastard! You have no right to control me. I yelled at the driver. Pull over. The driver did not halt. I tugged at the car door handle and locked it. I shouted at Zhao Yuan. Stop. I want to get out. Zhao Yuan's countenance darkened, and a flicker of inscrutable light flashed in his eyes. His response was to press the partition button inside the vehicle, and the barrier slowly rose, separating the back seat from the cockpit. What do you intend to do? Before I could finish my sentence, Zhao Yuan had pounced on me, pinning me back into my seat. I swear, I used to be invincible, a formidable fighter who had never known defeat, with a throng of admirers trailing behind me, showering me with love letters and gifts. Yet now, I found myself shamefully subdued beneath another alpha, my lips being mercilessly ravaged by his relentless kisses. Zhao Yuan's tongue pried open my teeth, plunging deep and attacking with abandon. I whimpered and turned my head away, only for him to grip the back of my head tightly, squeezing my chest as if to draw every breath from my lungs. What terrified me most was the realization that my body seemed to possess its own volition. My hands instinctively climbed to his shoulders, and my legs willingly opened to encircle his waist. What a dreadful muscle memory. Just moments ago, I had been so authoritative in my assault on him, and now I was utterly disarmed by a mere kiss. I mentally berated myself. Xiao Yishuan, where's your dignity? Do you still consider yourself an alpha? I forced myself to remain composed, but I was utterly unable to control my reactions. I sorrowfully acknowledged that I was, indeed, the one being dominated. Damn! What has become of my illustrious reputation? I was not keeping a canary. I was nurturing a predator. Zhao Yuan's lips traveled to my ear, where he nibbled on my earring, causing me to shudder. His slick tongue invaded my ear, driving me to the brink of madness. Clinging to the last shred of my sanity, I forcefully shoved him away. Don't touch me. I had intended for my voice to sound commanding, yet it emerged as a low, hoarse whisper that resembled a sulk. Ah! How utterly disgraceful! Zhao Yuan licked his lips, his eyes glowing a fierce red as he breathed heavily. If it weren't for the scent of other men on you, I would claim you right here. The air was thick with the fragrances of fir and cedarwood, the very pheromones that bound me and Zhao Yuan. The pheromones between alphas should repel one another, yet ours intertwined and fused into an intoxicating aroma. My suspicions were confirmed. Zhao Yuan must have cast a spell upon me, for how else could I be so enchanted by him, a fellow alpha? I retorted defiantly. Spare me. I've broken up with you. From now on, we part ways. Don't bother me anymore. Regardless of how fervently I had once adored him, I had awakened to my senses and resolved never to retrace my steps. Zhao Yuan still wore an expression of incomprehension. Have you finished your tantrum? I've already shown weakness. Aren't you just angry that I picked up Lin Lexi without telling you? He is your cousin and my classmate. I merely extended a gesture of hospitality. Besides, didn't you? As he spoke, he abruptly halted. This rascal had thoroughly embarrassed me. Was this his idea of showing weakness? I nearly choked on my own indignation. I snapped. I don't remember how things were between us before, but I can unequivocally tell you now that I'm done. You can love whoever you wish. Zhao Yuan appeared taken aback. His demeanor dulled as he asked, Do you truly remember nothing? I retorted angrily, Isn't it obvious? Do you have a hearing problem or something? Just then, the car came to a stop, and the doors unlocked with a click. I decisively opened the door and exited, followed closely by Zhao Yuan. The vehicle had parked in my family's underground garage. I scanned my face for entry, and Zhao Yuan trailed closely behind me. Frustrated, I urged, What are you following me for? He replied succinctly to go home. Home? This is my home. Are you annoying or what? Get lost. Zhao Yuan remained unfazed as he followed me into the elevator, and only when he used his fingerprint to unlock my front door did I finally fall silent. Being unable to rid myself of this persistent cling-on was truly exasperating. The shoe rack was cluttered with our footwear, including matching slippers. Upon entering the living room, I noticed a pair of awkwardly shaped ceramic mugs on the shelf beside the water dispenser. Picking one up for closer inspection, I remarked, What hideous things! They don't match my home at all. Zhao Yuan coolly reminded me, You insisted on making those mugs with me. I told you we lack artistic talent. Now you see how ugly they are? My silence was deafening. Right, I was born in the year of the rat. So the rabbit must represent Zhao Yuan? How could I have engaged in such a corny and childish endeavor? Just as I was lost in my thoughts, Zhao Yuan's phone rang. He retrieved it and, with a glance, I noticed Lexi displayed as a contact name. Zhao Yuan shot me a sidelong glance before answering on speakerphone. Hello? Lexi? Lin Lexi's voice came through, pleading and tearful. Shaoan, I don't know why the power southed out at my place. I can't fix it. Shaoan, do you hear yourself? Does that adorable nickname suit Zhao Yuan? I felt nauseated at the thought. Zhao Yuan replied calmly, It might be a tripped breaker. Check the circuit box. Lin Lexi whined, The circuit box? Where is that? I don't understand. Are you busy? Can you come over? Zhao Yuan glanced at me, and I smirked coldly, murmuring just loud enough for him to hear, Hurry up. Don't keep the little beauty waiting. Upon hearing my voice, Lin Lexi quickly amended. Oh, are you with Yishuan? Don't come over. I don't want him to misunderstand. I can manage on my own. I had no desire to listen to his insipid chatter and retreated into my room. Everywhere I looked, everything was in pairs. Pillows, pajamas, bath towels, razors, even the nightstand displayed a photo of Zhao Yuan and me together. In the picture, Zhao Yun held a birthday cake with a calm expression while I, like an infatuated fool, posed beside him with a yeah gesture. Seeing myself in such a pathetic state made me want to scream. I had always adhered to the principle of amicable partings, never tying myself down to a single partner, and now I found myself entangled in a 5-year relationship with an alpha 4 years my junior. I must have been possessed. Enraged and humiliated, I grabbed a towel and bathrobe and marched into the bathroom. The warm water cascaded from my head to my feet, invigorating my blood flow and opening my pores, gradually alleviating my pent-up frustration. I recalled Zhao Yun's assertion that he and Lin Lexi were merely classmates. I could hardly believe that. Only hot water could brew green tea. If he had no interest, would Lin Lexi have pursued him? Just as I resolved not to dwell on it, Zhao Yun's phone screen flashed in my mind with Lin Lexi's profile picture. Right, I seemed to have that same profile in my private messages. Turning off the shower, I quickly dried myself, slipped into my bathrobe, and dashed back to the bedroom. I grabbed my phone to check, and indeed, I found Lin Lexi among my recent contacts. I had labeled him as Lin Green Tea. How bluntly amusing, I chuckled to myself. Upon opening the chat, I discovered we had engaged in a video call earlier that afternoon at 2 o'clock. I recalled that 2 o'clock was around the time I had fallen down the stairs. Had I actually had a video chat with Lin Green Tea? What had we discussed? I racked my brain but could not recall a single detail. I muttered to myself, whatever, what does it matter? Let Lin Green Tea and that Zhao brat pair up. Couldn't he care less? After my shower, feeling both hungry and thirsty, I stepped into the living room to pour myself some water. As I stepped outside, I was momentarily taken aback. Zhao Yun was clad in an apron, his shirt sleeves rolled up to his elbows, revealing his slender and toned arms. At that moment, he was placing a steaming bowl of noodles onto the dining table. The noodles were accompanied by several slices of perfectly balanced char siu and fresh greens, topped with a runny yolk egg, which made my mouth water in anticipation. Zhao Yun set down his chopsticks and said leisurely, "Buckwheat noodles, hurry and eat, or your stomach will ache again tonight." My gastric ailment stemmed from a history of excessive drinking and irregular eating habits, leading to ulcers. Any day I neglected proper meals, it would flare up. Unable to resist the warm, inviting noodles, I obediently sat down and picked up the chopsticks. As Zhao Yun retreated to the kitchen to wash the pot, I recalled Lin Lexi and asked, puzzled, "Why are you still here?" "The power is out at Lin Lexi's place. Aren't you going to check on her?" Without turning around, Zhao Yun replied, "I sent my assistant over. It's probably nothing significant." I was taken aback by his indifference towards Lin Lexi. What was the purpose of his eager trip to the airport earlier that day? While I pondered this, slurping my noodles, Zhao Yun emerged from the kitchen and instructed, "After you finish, place the bowl and chopsticks in the sink. I'll wash them later." Was this fellow suffering from a split personality? I found it perplexing that he had spoken harshly to me in the hospital, yet now he was embodying the role of a gentle and considerate homemaker. As he entered the adjacent study, he added, "Once you're full, you should rest. I have to work late." I glanced at the wall clock. It was nearly 11. Just moments ago, he had seemed ready to devour me in the car. How could he now appear so composed? I quickly finished my noodles and leaned against the study door, observing him as he donned his glasses and focused intently on his laptop. Without looking away from the screen, he inquired, "What's wrong?" I teasingly replied, "Aren't you coming to bed with me?" He cast a fleeting glance my way. "You've lost your memory. I won't touch you." I shrugged, "Such principles you uphold." Just as I was about to turn and leave, a vivid memory invaded my mind. Zhao Yun working in the study while I playfully kneaded his chest from behind. He had gasped, "Stop messing around. I need to work." I had whispered in his ear, "Is working more interesting than me?" Zhao Yun had turned his head away, shyly evading me, while I craned my neck to peek at his computer. "Why are you working so hard? Didn't your company successfully restructure?" He had muttered, "I need to repay you." I had feigned indifference. "Oh, you mean that 50 million? I can earn it back in 3 months. What's mine is yours. It's all the same." Zhao Yun had stubbornly insisted, "No, I refuse to owe you any money." I had boldly sat on his lap, unbuttoning his shirt and playfully exploring, insisting, "I didn't move in with you just to watch you work. Hurry up, I want to have some fun." Zhao Yun had retorted, "You should go to sleep. Stop bothering me." I had wiggled my hips suggestively and mischievously smiled. "Are you sure?" Your little Yun can hardly contain himself. With a low curse, he had lifted me up and strode back to the bedroom. A shiver coursed through me. Was this a memory from my past? I had actually acted like a spoiled child with another alpha. How scandalous. Rubbing my arms to ward off the goosebumps, I fled in haste. The following day, I sat drowsily in the conference room while executives presented their reports with great fervor. The previous night, I had been plagued by a series of bizarre dreams. At one moment, I had dreamt of a younger Zhao Yuan gazing at me with his big, watery eyes, calling me Xuan Gu. At another, I had envisioned him grown, lifting weights in a gym, proclaiming he would leave me unable to get out of bed. And yet another dream had found me overpowered and punished on his desk. Why was I recalling these memories? Why couldn't I forget them entirely? During the lunch break, I lay on the sofa, too drained to even contemplate eating. Bored, I scrolled through my phone. A friend labeled wedding planner Xiao Zhang messaged me. Mr. Xiao, I heard you canceled your order. May I ask if it was due to dissatisfaction with the proposal? I couldn't recall what order he was referring to. Scrolling through the chat history, I saw multiple voice calls and a plethora of images and proposals he had sent me. I casually opened one image. It was a venue decoration concept, filled with flowers, balloons, and fairy lights, resembling a birthday celebration. He continued messaging, "What are you dissatisfied with? We can make improvements. There's still a week left. It's completely manageable." What did he mean by a week? What was he talking about? Just as I was about to type a response, the office door swung open. Zhao Yuan strode in with a commanding presence. "Get up, we're going to eat." I rebelliously countered, "I'm not hungry. It's none of your business." Ignoring my protest, he pulled me into the office's private elevator, leading us directly to the parking lot. Exhausted from lack of sleep and food, I found myself unable to resist, leaning against the passenger seat and drifting off. Upon waking, I discovered we had arrived at a private dining establishment. The staff greeted us familiarly and led us to a booth with a view of the garden. A feast of 4 dishes and a soup was promptly served, all of which were my favorites. It seemed we had frequented this place together. He expertly scooped soup for me, reminding me it's quite hot. Let it cool before drinking. I was once again convinced that this man had a split personality. The same person who had scowled and expressed anger yesterday was now showering me with care and attentiveness. As I lifted my bowl to sip the soup, a soft voice emerged from behind me. "Mr. Xiao, is that you?" Turning around, I was met with a stunning sight. Before me stood a 20-something Omega, with shoulder-length hair, porcelain skin, and red lips, adorned with matching earrings and a necklace, along with bracelets and rings. He was strikingly beautiful, truly my type. I found myself momentarily speechless. The Omega smiled brightly at me, then nodded toward Zhao Yuan. The Omega initiated small talk. "What a coincidence. Are you here dining with a friend?" I struggled to recall his name, smiling broadly. "Yes, quite the coincidence. And you?" "The owner of this place is a friend of mine. I'm here to see him." He added, "Oh, by the way, Mr. Xiao, my studio has moved. I'll send you the new location shortly, so you can contact me anytime if you need assistance for you or your friends." "Sounds good. I won't disturb you any longer. Enjoy your meal." I beamed, waving goodbye as he departed. Zhao Yuan's icy voice pierced through the air. "Have you seen enough?" His expression was darker than the bottom of a pot, and I quickly snapped back to reality. "What's wrong? Is it forbidden to look?" He scoffed. "Are you sure that's all you were doing? Do you really think I'm oblivious? What do you know?" I sensed his temper beginning to surface and grew wary. Zhao Yuan suddenly fell silent, turning his face away in a huff. I was too preoccupied to pacify him, as the charming Omega had just sent me his new location. His name was Xiao Yan, though I had noted him in my contacts as Xiao Yan, ring designer. What was this ring design? I opened the chat, revealing a plethora of design images he had sent, all featuring engagement ring styles. I had even requested him to engrave something inside the rings. Frowning at the messages, Zhao Yuan suddenly placed a hand over my phone screen. I raised my head, preparing to unleash a tirade, but he was even angrier than I was. "Xiao Yishuan, do you think I'm dead?" I retorted. "Zhao Yuan, what on earth are you talking about?" He accused me. "You flirt with other men right in front of me and still dare to claim that you and Lin Lexi are innocent?" I defended myself. "What flirting? I merely greeted him. You still pretend to be oblivious." I saw it with my own eyes the day before yesterday. "Saw what?" Zhao Yuan gritted his teeth, laughing in anger. "Very well, you refuse to admit it, huh? I'll show you the evidence." He pulled out his phone and opened a series of photos for me to see. I was left speechless. In the photos, I was sitting face to face with Xiao Yan in a CAF, laughing and chatting. The CAF looked somewhat familiar, as if it were right beneath my office. I strained to recall what had transpired the day before. Zhao Yuan continued to accuse me. "If I hadn't happened to bring you soup the day before yesterday, I wouldn't have caught you two in a secret rendezvous. You were the one who wronged me first, and you dare to play the victim." I covered my face and raised a hand to halt him. Wait a moment, let me sort this out. However, Zhao Yuan was relentless. Sort what? Do you wish to keep your home's red flag flying while flaunting colorful flags outside? Let me tell you, that's not going to happen. His incessant ranting made it impossible for me to think, and I finally snapped. If we don't get along, let us break up. Didn't we agree to terminate the contract? From now on, let us not interfere with each other. Zhao Yuan suddenly fell silent. After all the commotion, I realized I was hungry, so I began to eat while berating him. I've never seen someone so overly dramatic as you. One moment you say let us break up, the next you cling to me. Can you be more decisive? We're both adults. If I forget you and you're tired of me, then let us call it quits. Why make it so exhausting? Zhao Yuan muttered something under his breath. Who says I'm tired of you? I didn't quite catch it. What did you say? He clenched his fists, silent with anger. I teased him. You're not eating, right? Then I hold back. Zhao Yuan glared at me, his anger palpable, but I remained unfazed, continuing to eat and drink. Just as I was engrossed in my meal, footsteps approached from behind. Zhao Yuan suddenly perked up, glaring at the newcomer. The person spoke, Mr. Xiao. I just sent you the information. As I turned to respond, Zhao Yuan unexpectedly stood up, pulling me away from my seat by my collar. My vision darkened, breath caught, as his lips crashed onto mine. Zhao Yuan pressed his face against mine, wide-eyed, fiercely sucking on my lips, creating a sound that echoed. I was taken aback, and once I regained my senses, I quickly pushed him away. What are you doing? I gasped, wiping the saliva off my lips with the back of my hand, inadvertently meeting Xiao Yan's gaze. Xiao Yan's expression transitioned from surprise to understanding. He stifled a laugh, then apologized. Sorry to interrupt, you two continue. Don't mind me. With that, he excitedly ran off, calling out, Ah, it's a double A. I ship it. Zhao Yuan and I exchanged incredulous looks. Zhao Yuan smirked maliciously. Now everyone knows you're the one being dominated. I gritted my teeth. Zhao Yuan, are you out of your mind? He shifted from anger to delight, nonchalantly picking up my leftovers with chopsticks and eating with gusto. Wasn't it me who used to chase after him? Why did it feel like the roles had reversed? I increasingly found myself bewildered by our relationship dynamic. After all the commotion caused by Zhao Yuan, I completely forgot to investigate the wedding planning company and Xiao Yan's involvement. 2 days later, Zhao Yuan and I donned formal attire and headed to a banquet at my hotel. It was a celebration for 100 days since the child's birth, with parents from prominent families, one surnamed Li and the other Ji. Remarkably, the child's father was an alpha, and the mother was a beta. While marriages between AB combinations are not uncommon, an AA pairing like Zhao Yuan and me is quite rare. I slipped a generous red envelope for the child and followed the usher to my seat. During the event, Zhao Yuan stepped out to take a call and returned after more than 10 minutes, acting somewhat oddly, occasionally chuckling to himself and casting furtive glances my way. I felt a prickling sensation under his gaze and could no longer contain myself, growling, What are you up to? Did you take something? Zhao Yuan quickly composed himself, donning a mysterious expression. Nothing, you don't need to worry about me. Do you think I want to worry? Just stop looking at me. It's quite embarrassing. The stage filled the air with the melodious sound of a piano, and I glanced over, stunned. Behind the grand piano sat a striking young man in a white tailcoat. It was Lin Lexi. He was passionately immersed in his performance. He must have been invited by the hosts, as Lin Lexi was a moderately well-known pianist. I couldn't help but recall the classic line from Lin Dayu. Had I known he would be here, I wouldn't have come. I instinctively looked at Zhao Yuan, who was engrossed in his phone, the smile on his lips unwavering. Suddenly, it dawned on me. He knew Lin Lexi would be here, which explained his elation. I couldn't help but feel exasperated. After Lin Lexi finished a few pieces, he exited the stage, and the host came up to liven the atmosphere. Having eaten my fill, I stood to leave, but Zhao Yuan grabbed my arm. Where are you going? I fibbed, to the restroom. Only then did Zhao Yuan release me. Once I exited the banquet hall, I headed straight for the parking lot. As I passed through the lobby, I inadvertently glanced at the Y-shaped staircase. I vaguely recalled tumbling down from there. Fragments of memory flashed through my mind. I had been scrolling through my phone while descending the stairs, and on the other end was a video call from Lin Lexi. The screen displayed Zhao Yuan driving. It seemed they were discussing something. After listening, my heart felt like it was being torn apart. I was reluctant to revisit that memory. As I stood lost in thought on the stairs, a uniformed employee approached me. Mr. Xiao, manager, he wishes to discuss something with you. Could you please head to the lounge? Oh, I'll go check it out. I thought nothing of it and made my way to the lounge alone. Upon entering, I found no sign of manager He. Old He, are you here? I called out while pulling out my phone to call him. Just then, I felt a chilling breeze sweep past me, followed by a sharp pain at the nape of my neck. Startled, I instinctively swung my fist back. I struck a figure that crumpled to the floor, and my phone slipped from my grasp. The person groaned, clutching their cheek as they rose. To my disbelief, it was Lin Lexi. He dropped the syringe, the very thing that had just pricked me. Staring at him in disbelief, I clutched my neck and shouted, Lin Lexi, what are you doing? Lin Lexi let out a low, sinister laugh. He Ishwan Gij, you really are so easily fooled. Suddenly, it all clicked into place. So you lured me here? You're truly insane. I lifted my foot to leave when I suddenly felt dizzy. My body weakened, and I could barely stay upright. Lin Lexi rushed forward to support me. Ishwan Gij, feeling dizzy? Are you unwell? I realized that my symptoms were related to that syringe, and I pushed him away, distressed. What have you done to me? Lin Lexi stubbornly held on to me, guiding me to a 3-seater sofa where he laid me down, then locked the lounge door. My chest felt heavy, breathing became difficult, and I was utterly powerless. Lin Lexi climbed on top of me, his hands cradling my face. His deep brown eyes reflected the pallor of my face. Brother Ishwan, I am sorry. I did not wish for this to happen, but why do you always refuse to look at me? He murmured, his expression both deranged and obsessive, appearing rather unhinged. Lin Lexi, you. Just as I was about to speak, Lin Lexi suddenly leaned down and kissed me. I gasped, my eyes nearly bulging from their sockets. A wave of nausea surged in my stomach as I clenched my teeth, unwilling to reciprocate his advances. After a prolonged kiss, he slowly lifted his head, his voice tinged with a sorrowful whine. Brother Ishwan, why don't you like me? You used to call me Cici. What is so special about Zhao Yuan? How does he compare to me? Lin Lexi's words left me in bewilderment. Wasn't he infatuated with Zhao Yuan? What sort of surreal plot was unfolding? My mind felt as though it might explode. Lin Lexi continued to ramble. If I had known, I would never have invited him to my 17th birthday party. Then you wouldn't have met him. He has clearly transitioned into an alpha, so why do you still cling to him? Can he give you children? Can he make you feel good? I can give you all of that. His anger escalated. Was this what it meant to be a Yandra? I swallowed hard, attempting to reason with him. Lexi, please calm down, we are cousins. Lin Lexi vehemently retorted. Cousins can marry. How did we even get to marriage? I replied, exasperated. I've never liked you. What's the point of this commotion? There is. Lin Lexi shouted frantically, if I can't have you, no one else will. I refuse to lose to Zhao Yuan. I will tear you apart. Suddenly, there was a loud banging on the door that startled both Lin Lexi and me. With 2 resounding crashes, the door was kicked down. Ishwan. Zhao Yuan stormed in, and before Lin Lexi could react, he was seized and violently thrown against the wall, losing consciousness on impact. Zhao Yuan helped me to my feet. Are you all right? As I sat up, dizziness overwhelmed me, and I gasped. Lin Lexi injected me with something. I'll take you to the hospital. Zhao Yuan lifted me onto his back. His timing was impeccable, and I asked, how did you know I was here? Zhao Yuan picked up my phone, which had fallen to the ground, revealing that it had dialed his number and remained connected. Had I accidentally called him? What a serendipitous mistake. Upon arriving at the hospital, the doctor confirmed that I had been injected with an anesthetic. Zhao Yuan declared that he would not let Lin Lexi off the hook, and I graciously replied, forget it. He grew up without a father and has a somewhat obsessive personality. I'll have a word with his father and send him far away so he won't return to cause any trouble. I lay on the hospital bed receiving for fluids, with Zhao Yuan by my side, holding my hand with a worried expression. Feeling slightly better, I teasingly asked, when I fell down the stairs recently, why weren't you this anxious? Zhao Yuan looked guilty as he replied, I thought you were pretending, and at that time I believed you were cheating on me. Cheating? I recalled our previous argument at the private restaurant. Are you referring to that Xiao Yan? Zhao Yuan quickly responded. I've already looked into him. He's a jewelry designer. I misjudged you. Was that the reason for his earlier silly grin on the phone? I scoffed and provocatively said, perhaps you didn't misjudge. I am indeed quite interested in him. Zhao Yuan's face immediately fell. Can you stop upsetting me? I couldn't be bothered to tease him further and gazed at the ceiling, mumbling, I can't believe Lin Lexi actually likes me. That is something I never expected. Zhao Yuan agreed. I never imagined it either. He truly is a master of theatrics. I boasted, what can I say? My charm is simply irresistible. No one who has met my little O has ever escaped unscathed. Suddenly, Zhao Yun pinched my chin, turning my face toward him and said firmly, "You must not flirt with anyone else. You already have me. What business is it of yours? You're merely my pet canary," I began. But before I could finish, Zhao Yun pressed his lips against mine in a forceful kiss. Is this how one treats a patient? I lamented internally. Nonetheless, kissing Zhao Yun was far from repulsive to me. 3 days later, as I was leaving the office after work, Zhao Yun forcibly dragged me away. I inquired about our destination, and he only responded mysteriously, "You'll find out when we get there." To my surprise, we arrived at my hotel. After stepping out of the car, I barely took a few steps before he produced a blindfold and covered my eyes. What kind of blindfold play was this? I reached out to remove it, but he stopped me. "Don't take it off, or I might just have my way with you in the parking lot." I begrudgingly allowed him to lead me into the elevator, eventually arriving at a certain room. The atmosphere inside was warm, infused with a rich floral fragrance. "All right, we're here," he said, removing the blindfold. I squinted to adjust to the light, gradually realizing my surroundings. I found myself in a small banquet hall, resplendent with lights and adorned with flowers, resembling a fairy tale realm. A large heart was emblazoned on the flower wall, featuring cartoon avatars of 2 male characters, one with rabbit ears and the other with mouse ears. Above the avatars, the words "Marry Me" were boldly displayed. Was this a proposal? I felt my cheeks flush, overwhelmed with embarrassment. Zhao Yun retrieved a deep blue velvet box from his pocket and knelt before me. He opened the box, his face unflinching as he said, "Ishwan, today I turn 23, which is the legal age for marriage. Will you marry me? Or I could marry you instead." Inside the box lay a pair of platinum rings. Memories flooded back, and I finally recalled everything. The rings were designed by Xiao Yan, and I had arranged for the banquet hall's decoration through a wedding planning company. Today was Zhao Yun's 23rd birthday, and I had planned a surprise party for him over a month ago, intending to propose. However, that day, as I descended the stairs, I received a video call from Lin Lexi. In the car, Zhao Yun was unaware of my conversation with Lin Lexi. Lin Lexi had manipulated the conversation, saying, "Are you still dating my cousin? He is famously a playboy, falling for every pretty face he sees." Zhao Yun had remained non-committal, replying, "Lexi, this is my personal matter. I will handle it." Lin Lexi continued to sow discord. "Your cousin pursued you relentlessly before, but once he has you, he may no longer cherish you. If you ever develop feelings for him, he might cruelly cast you aside. You should be cautious." At that moment, Zhao Yun thought I was cheating with Xiao Yan, and Lin Lexi's words struck a nerve. Frustrated, he retorted, "How could I ever have feelings for him? I only signed that contract out of necessity back then. Once my company is stable, I won't have to wait for him to dump me. I'll be the one to end it." Hearing those words felt like a bucket of cold water had been thrown over me, freezing my very being. I had poured my heart and soul into this relationship, willingly giving everything for love, only to realize that he viewed me in such a way. My sincerity over the past 5 years had been utterly wasted. Distraught, I lost my footing on the stairs and suffered a concussion. Perhaps the shock was too great. Upon waking, I had forgotten everything related to Zhao Yun. I lingered in a daze for too long, prompting Zhao Yun to shake my hand. "Ishwan, will you marry me, please?" I was suddenly jolted back to reality, as if awakening from a deep slumber. Despite the misunderstanding being resolved and Zhao Yun's earlier words being mere expressions of anger, I still felt a simmering irritation upon reflection. I retorted, "The venue arrangement was designed by someone I hired, and the ring was custom-made by me. All you did was voice your opinion." I refused to be the fool in this scenario. Zhao Yun, visibly anxious, continued to speak incessantly. "I feared that my enthusiasm might lead you to become complacent, to no longer cherish me. Moreover, I was uncertain whether your feelings for me were genuine or merely a fleeting infatuation, which is why I resorted to the tactic of feigned indifference. But now I understand you wish to build a life with me. From this day forth, regardless of how you treat me, I am irrevocably committed to you. No one shall dare to take you away from me." I remained unmoved, responding coldly, "Am I to be treated as a mere trifle, summoned and dismissed at your whim?" I refused to play along any longer. I turned to leave, but Zhao Yun rushed forward and embraced me from behind. "You cannot leave," he insisted. With a tone of humility, Zhao Yun pleaded, "Yixian, I admit I was in the wrong. I implore you for a chance. The proposal was your design, so let me take charge of the wedding preparations. Whatever kind of ceremony you desire, I shall arrange it. I will transfer my company shares to you, and my entire salary will be at your disposal. I will heed your every command. Please, grant me this request." As he spoke, His voice trembled on the verge of tears, and I struggled to suppress a laugh. How adept he was at this game of feigned indifference. I dared not turn to face him, fearing my expression would betray my amusement. Feigning anger, I declared, I have been the one to show you warmth for 5 long years. Do you think a few words will soften my heart? Zhao Yuan responded earnestly. I remember every kindness you have shown me, and I will return it tenfold. If you grant me this opportunity, I will prove my devotion to you. Gradually, I turned to face him, and I found his eyes brimming with moisture, resembling a pitiable rabbit. I was indeed ensnared by his charm. I feigned indifference and inquired, you claim that from now on, you will do as I say? Zhao Yuan nodded fervently. I pressed further, so if I wish to smoke or drink, I may do so at will. He hesitated, your lungs have nodules, and drinking could harm your stomach. I only wish to protect you. I want to grow old with you and live to 100. How noble of him. It seemed all his actions were for my benefit. Zhao Yuan added, you can do anything that does not harm your health. Everything else is negotiable. I pretended to sigh dramatically. Very well, seeing your sincerity, I shall give you this one chance. Zhao Yuan was overjoyed, fearing I might change my mind, and swiftly slid the wedding ring onto my left-hand's ring finger, then donned his own. As I gazed at the ring, a whirlwind of emotions surged within me. Who could have anticipated my early marriage? However, it was worth it. Zhao Yuan was 4 years my junior, which I deemed a triumph. Zhao Yuan eagerly embraced me, kissing me passionately. After a few days of restraint, I soon found myself responding by wrapping my arms around his neck. Just as we were lost in our embrace, a timid voice interrupted, Mr. Zhao, do we still need to come out? We halted, turning to see Zhou Yang peeking from behind the curtain, a small video camera in hand. Others soon followed suit, our mutual friends, some holding confetti cannons, others with mobile phones, all wearing expressions of amusement. Had they witnessed the entire embarrassing proposal? I quickly rationalized that the embarrassment belonged to Zhao Yuan, not me. My pride remained intact. Zhao Yuan cleared his throat awkwardly. Come out, everyone. Carry on as you will. Thus, everyone complied, launching confetti, cheering, and clapping. Shimmering pieces of paper cascaded around us, and amidst the raucous celebration, Zhao Yuan and I shared yet another kiss. The end. Thank you for listening. Until we meet again in the next story.